There is a video circulating right now with a title claiming retinol has officially been banned. I want to deal with that in the first 30 seconds because it is not true, and what actually happened is far more useful to you than the scare headline. In April of 2024, the European Commission published an amendment to European cosmetics law. It did not ban retinol, it capped it. Face products, hand products, and rinse-off products are now limited to a maximum of 0.3% retinol equivalent. Body lotions are capped much lower at 0.05%. Non-compliant products could not be placed on the European market after November 1st of 2025, and anything already sitting on a shelf has until May 1st of 2027 to clear out. Here is the sentence nobody quotes. The scientific committee that recommended those limits also concluded that vitamin A in cosmetics is safe at those concentrations. The cap exists because vitamin A accumulates from your diet, your supplements, and your skincare all at once, and regulators wanted to protect the small percentage of people already at the high end of total intake. That is a very different statement from retinol is banned. But that regulation did something accidentally wonderful. It dragged the entire conversation to where it always belonged. Not the brand on the bottle, not the packaging, the number. If this is the kind of thing you want more of, please subscribe, because I am about to show you 5 retinoids you can buy for less than the cost of a lunch, tell you the exact concentration in each one, and finish with 2 products that contain the identical active ingredient at the identical strength where one costs 4 times the other. That last one is going to annoy you. Now, before we go further, I am not a doctor, and nothing here replaces one. What I do is read labels and published research, and I show you exactly where I got it. Retinoids are not for everyone. If you are pregnant, nursing, or trying to become pregnant, retinoids are contraindicated, and that is not me being cautious. That is on the label. If you are on prescription medication or managing an existing skin condition, talk to your doctor or your pharmacist before you start any of this. Here is my thesis, and I want you to hold on to it for the next 12 minutes. In retinol, you are not paying for a product. You are paying for a molecule at a disclosed concentration in a container of a known size. Everything else is decoration. The brands that skip the decoration are the ones nobody talks about, and they are the ones worth your money. Let us count down. Number 5. The Ordinary Retinol in Squalane. You know this brand, you have probably scrolled past it. The bottles look like something out of a chemistry stockroom, and that is precisely the point. Here is the number. The Ordinary sells pure retinol in a squalane base at 3 disclosed strengths, 0.2%, 0.5%, and 1%. 1 fluid ounce, which is 30 milliliters. The 0.5% version runs around $9 to $10 in the United States and around £8.40 in the United Kingdom. Here is why that matters. Almost nobody prints the actual percentage on the front of the bottle. The Ordinary prints 3 of them and tells you to start at the bottom and work up. That is not marketing, that is a dosing ladder, and it is the single most useful thing a retinol brand can give a beginner. You know exactly what you are applying. If your skin protests, you know exactly what to step down to. Now, the honest caveat, because I am not going to hand you a highlight reel, this is water-free retinol in an oil-like base, and it is unencapsulated, which means it is less stable than the fancier delivery systems further up this list. The Ordinary itself tells you to refrigerate it after opening and use it within 3 months. That is a real limitation, and the brand is upfront about it. It also flatly instructs you not to use it alongside other retinoids, direct acids, or pure vitamin C in the same routine. This is a product that requires you to read the instructions. If that sounds like a chore, the next entry is easier. Number 4. Naturium Retinaldehyde Cream Serum. This one gets skipped constantly, and I think it is because most people do not know that retinaldehyde is a different molecule from retinol. Here is the number. Naturium sells encapsulated retinaldehyde at 0.05%, 0.10%, and 0.15% in a 1.7 fluid ounce bottle. Pricing runs $29, $32, and $35, respectively. Here is why that matters, and pay attention because this is the part the marketing never explains. Retinol has to convert twice inside your skin before it becomes retinoic acid, which is the form that actually does anything. Retinaldehyde is one step further along. It only has to convert once. That is why 0.1% retinaldehyde is not the weakling it looks like next to 1% retinol. You are comparing two different molecules at two different points on the same pathway, and the percentage on the front of the box is not a common currency between them. Do the arithmetic on the container size too, because everyone forgets to. 1.7 fluid ounces at $32 works out to roughly $19 per ounce. It looks more expensive than the ordinary until you notice you are getting nearly twice the volume. The honest caveat: retinaldehyde is notoriously unstable in a bottle, which is exactly why Naturium encapsulates it, and to the brand's credit, they published the fact that they ran assays under accelerated conditions to confirm the retinol content held up over shelf life. That is more transparency than most brands offer, but it is still a delicate molecule, so treat the expiry date as real rather than decorative. And no, the 0.15% is not automatically better for you than the 0.05%. It is stronger. Stronger and better are not the same word. Number 3, and this is where I have to say something uncomfortable about a brand I genuinely like: CeraVe. CeraVe is on almost every bathroom shelf in America. It is dermatologist developed. The ceramide formulations are excellent, and their resurfacing retinol serum is one of the most recommended starter retinols on the internet. So here is the number, and I cannot give it to you because CeraVe does not publish it. Search for the concentration in CeraVe's retinol serum, and you will find 0.3% stated with total confidence across dozens of articles, review sites, and shopping guides. I went looking for the source of that figure. It traces back to third-party estimates and a customer answer on a retail listing. It does not come from CeraVe. Other reviewers, working backwards from where retinol sits in the ingredient list, place it somewhere in a range of 0.1 to 0.3%, which is a polite way of saying nobody outside the company actually knows. Now here is why that matters, and it is not really about CeraVe. It is about you. That number has been repeated so many times that it has hardened into a fact. It is not a fact. It is an estimate wearing a fact's clothing. And the entire premise of this video, the reason those European regulators wrote a number into law in the first place, is that the concentration is the product. When a brand withholds it, you are not buying a dose. You are buying a promise. The honest caveat, and I want to be fair here because this is not a bad product: encapsulated retinol buffered with 3 ceramides and niacinamide is a genuinely thoughtful piece of formulation, and it is designed so that people with reactive skin actually finish the bottle instead of quitting after 2 weeks of peeling. That is a real and underrated virtue. Plenty of people get results from it. My objection is narrow and specific. I cannot tell you what you are applying, and neither can they publicly. So it lands at number 3 instead of number 1. Number 2, Differin, and the aisle you are walking straight past. Here is the number: Adapalene, 0.1%, and that is not an estimate. It is printed on the drug facts panel because this is not a cosmetic. It is a drug. Adapalene is a third-generation retinoid. It was prescription only until 2016, when the Food and Drug Administration approved the 0.1% gel for over-the-counter sale. around $24 for 1.6 ounces, which is 45 grams, and because a pea-sized amount covers your entire face, that tube is roughly a 90-day supply. Here is why that matters. Everything else on this list is a cosmetic. Cosmetics are not required to prove they work. This one went through a drug approval pathway. The strength is guaranteed by law. The manufacturing is held to pharmaceutical standards, and the molecule itself is more photostable than retinol, which means it does not fall apart the way retinol does. And now the honest caveat, and this is the biggest one in the video, so please stay with me. Differin is approved for acne, not for wrinkles. Using it for signs of aging is off-label, and I am not going to pretend otherwise. But here is what the research actually says, because I went and looked. A randomized controlled trial published in 2025 followed women using Adapalene 0.1% cream for 6 months. Their skin aging scores dropped significantly compared to the control group, with wrinkle improvement showing up from about the 4th month onward, and pigmentation improved as well. The main side effects were stinging and dryness, and most of that settled after the first 2 months. And here is the other half, which the excitable videos will not tell you. A separate network meta-analysis published the same year, pooling 23 trials, found that Adapalene's effect on photoaging looked less robust than tretinoin or retinol. So the picture is genuinely mixed. What we know is that there is real evidence from a properly designed trial that Adapalene at this strength improves wrinkles and pigmentation over 6 months. Where it stops is that the broader evidence base is thinner than tretinoins, and Adapalene is not going to be crowned the gold standard on the strength of one study. 6 months, not 6 days. Sunscreen every single day, non-negotiable, and not while pregnant or nursing. Which brings me to number 1, and this is the one that is going to bother you, the store brand, Adapalene Gel USP 0.1%. That USP designation means it is manufactured to United States Pharmacopoeia standards. Same molecule, same strength, same standard, sold under whatever name the retailer feels like printing. Here is the number, and I want you to sit with this one. Walmart's Equate Adapalene Gel 0.1%, half an ounce, $9.86. Glenmark's Adapalene Gel 0.1%, 15 grams, $9.49. Acne-free Panoxyl and a handful of others sell the identical active at roughly $10 to $12. And La Roche-Posay Effaclar Adapalene Gel 0.1%, 1.6 ounces, $39.97. Same molecule, same strength, same regulatory standard, roughly 4 times the price. I want to be precise about what I am and am not claiming, because precision is the whole point of this channel. I am not telling you the formulations are identical. They are not. The inactive ingredients differ, the texture differs, and if one vehicle sits better on your skin than another, that is a real difference, and it is worth something to you. Some people genuinely prefer the Effaclar base. That is a legitimate reason to buy it. What I am telling you is that the thing doing the work, the retinoid itself, is the same compound at the same percentage, held to the same standard. And if nobody has ever told you that, it is worth knowing before you spend $40. The honest caveat, and it applies to every version, this is still an acne drug used off-label for aging. It still causes dryness and stinging in the first weeks. It still demands daily sunscreen. And it is still off the table if you are pregnant or nursing. So let me bring this back to where we started. Retinol was never banned. It was assigned a number. And the moment regulators wrote that number into law, they confirmed the thing this channel keeps saying in every video. The concentration is the product. The molecule is the product. The container size is the product. Everything else is a story someone is charging you for. The brands on this list are skipped for one reason. They are boring. They come in plain bottles and pharmacy cartons and they do not photograph well. What they do instead is print the number on the label, and that single act of transparency is worth more than every serif font and glass dropper in the beauty aisle. Start low, go slow, wear sunscreen, give it 6 months, not 6 days. And check the current label yourself before you buy, because formulations change and my figures were accurate when I recorded this, not necessarily forever. Tell me in the comments which retinoid is in your bathroom right now and whether the percentage is actually printed on it. Go look. I am curious how many of you find a number and how many of you find a promise. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.